Hi, I'm Martin, and I have a big problem. This is the pile. As you can see, I buy way too many anime models, and I gotta get these guys out of their boxes. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna open all these boxes just for you. Welcome to Cate Frenzy. Welcome to Season 2 of Cate Frenzy. If you've never been here before, I basically just sit here all day and talk about toys. So if you don't like toys, then what are you doing here? So we're gonna begin the season with something super cool. It's a figure that I've been waiting for about a year, and she's in this gigantic box. Before I open her, I'm going to talk about the cardboard box for a few seconds. It's a humongous box. There's tape all over it, and it's very heavy duty. There's information on the front about the edition number, since she's a very rare model. And honestly, when this box came, I was surprised that it didn't have more damage on it being so big. The cardboard box is pretty damn tough. So let's get her out of the box and we can start this review. So at the bottom of the box also came the certificate of authenticity. The certificate of authenticity. I can't say it. The certificate of authenticity. So the certificate is actually talking in first person as if you were Karis. Let me just show you what it says. I am an ambassador of the reptilian hybrids. May my calm gaze be a beacon of light to show humans that there are more to reptilians than being cold-hearted. We have evolved as well. My presence here is to bridge the gap that humans and reptilians have, for I'm a blend of both. May my presence be known. Elite Creature Collectibles is proud to present the reptilian hybrid alien Karis in the 4th volume of our Quality Alien Museum collection. It says Karen bust. They misspelled the certificate. What? Okay, the Karen bust is designed and sculpted by our key artist Mio Nakamura. Edition number 35 of 300, and Mio's got her signature here, which is really cute, and it has these little bat wings. There's also a seal of authenticity as well. Honestly, it's very cool to have something like this come with your figure. It really shows how cool the figure is, despite the mislabeled certificate. Karen bust. Okay, so I can't really fit her into frame because her box is so big and I only have a limited amount of space in this place. So you're just gonna see about this much of the box. There's still about, I want to say like 4 inches that you can't see, but it's just white space, so it doesn't really matter. So we have Karis in her glory. This is what she'll look like when she's out of the package. This box is very simple. It has a very cool like silk satin kind of vibe going on the bottom of the box. It looks very sweet and gentle. It's a very simple box. It's white. It's got pictures of Karis on the front, and also if we swirl the box around, you'll see that on the side there is the information that it's Karis, a reptilian hybrid. The sides are pretty simple compared to most anime boxes I've seen. This is a very simple box, but that's okay because Karis is a very intricate model, so the box doesn't really have to be that important. Plus, it probably would raise prices if the box was more elaborate. And on the back side, you'll see the back detail. So it's kind of cool because it shows you the front and back right off the bat. I think the box being so simple, there's not much to talk about. The top of the box just basically mimics the side of the box, so it doesn't really have any importance. The bottom of the box does have some information. So the bottom also tells you that it's number 35 out of 300. Initially, it was supposed to be a 500 run, but I guess they only got 300 people to buy it, so she's even more rare than I thought. So compared to the other boxes I've seen, this one's a little bit plain, but the minimalistic nature really helps the box because Karis is forefront and center. The information on the bottom is kind of nice as well. The box does have some damage on the top left corner, and it's really weird because it's on the front and the back on the same side, so maybe something happened there, I'm not sure. I'm also thinking that maybe customs damaged it when they opened it, so I'm not too sure about that either. So overall, I'll give this box a 9 out of 10. It's not super impressive, but I do enjoy the fact that it's so minimalistic. Let's get her out of the box now, I guess, so we can talk about the actual figure. That's what you're here for, right? That didn't sound good. Huh. So she's packed with a bunch of silica gel, which is really good to see. Water protection. Oh, you are heavy. Okay, this is a hell of an unboxing. She's wrapped in plastic, which is good. She also has a necklace, and her hair is tied up in a little... I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a little mesh here. Her hair feels so nice. It's so silky. This is also protected because it's a chain that links up her two back horns. I guess you call them horns. I don't know what else you can call these things. While I struggle with this figure, I want to tell you a really interesting story about one of Mio's struggles. So you see, Karis was actually met by Mio in two different dreams. In the first dream, Mio and Karis were actually sharing this body, but they were being experimented on by humans. The humans were causing great fear inside of Mio, but Mio didn't feel that same fear inside of Karis. Karis was actually sad. And the reason why she was sad was because she couldn't understand why humans lack so much empathy, and they couldn't understand how we were all connected. This had a huge emotional effect on Mio because she woke up sobbing, and then she kept on thinking about it for a long time. Then a few months later, she had another dream about Karis, and this time the second dream was more happy. In the second dream, Karis actually acted like a guide for a new facility underground. In this dream, Karis' appearance changed as well. She had her hair neatly braided, and she was wearing a clean white uniform. In this facility, she sees that humans and aliens are now working together peacefully. There are advancements in technology like spaceships being rebuilt and a giant wall of water held by an invisible barrier. Karis tells Mio, like, look how much further we've come now that we've worked together. And I think this is such an important thing about this model, is that it has such an amazing personal backstory to it. And you never really get to hear stories like this about models, and that's what makes this model come alive. So you can see that there are little gemstones on this back. I want to say horn. What do you call these? Horns? Sticks? I don't know. Alright, so these just go... This one's okay, but the back one here is a little loose. Oh, there's a necklace too. Fuck. So her necklace is protected here with like surgery. She has two more. Okay, that actually makes sense now. You know what? This is supposed to be the bottom one. That makes more sense. Okay. Oh, this one, the chain fell off. Packaging wise, maybe 9 out of 10 since the chain here fell apart. So I'm giving it a 9. You know, I don't know if that was because of customs or something, you know? Because customs could have fucked with it. Who knows? Okay, so I got the set back in order. And now we can finally talk about Karis the right way. So you're probably wondering, how much did Karis cost? Well... let's take a look at the stats. Karis was 798 USD if I remember right, and when I saw her initially, I could not get her out of my mind. I kept on thinking about her. When she came out, I was a little bit broke, so I couldn't afford her at the time, and she actually sold out. Being only 500 pieces means that it's gonna be really rough trying to find her later. And I knew this. So after she came out and I picked up some more moolah, I found a website to get her from. That website was Animegami. They had a payment plan in place for models that were more expensive, and that really helped. If you're gonna be buying models like this, you should probably go with a payment plan, because unless you have that money still lying around, it's gonna be really, really expensive. I paid her off within 12 months, and grand total was $1,500 Canadian. Oh, my soul, my soul. When you're buying anime models, you want to pick up 7 different things, at least in my book. Number 1, you want to buy a robot or a mecha. Number 2, you want to buy a shoujo, like a pretty girl, magical schoolgirl, like a magic warrior, like some kind of shoujo, because there's tons of them. There's tons to choose from, because that's all anime is about. Number 3, you want a shonen hero, so big burly dude, maybe a big burly girl, who knows? Number 4, you want to get a mascot character, something that's like furry and small and doesn't make any sense. You just want to buy it because it's so adorable and you have no idea why you want it. Number 5, you want to buy a hentai model. Something that's so ridiculously lewd that you could never show it to your parents or anybody coming over to your house. You know the one I'm talking about. And number 6, you want to buy some original character. A character that's created solely for a purpose of being turned into a model. Nothing to do with anime or manga. It's just a really cool design. Number 7 is you want to buy the Passion Project. The Passion Project is something that is so expensive that you cry thinking about it every time you look at it, and that's what Karis is. So Karis I made her my humongous passion buy. Honestly, when you collect anime models, you feel like sometimes you're just buying plastic, but these are works of art and they should be appreciated for that fact. So let's start talking about Karis's features, why don't we? Karis has amazing different qualities about her face. First off, one really cool thing you might notice is that she has these really giant wing structures on her head. The cool thing about these are they're really thin, and these are also cast in resin, and the resin that she's made in is basically a clear translucent resin, which gives her skin a very cool color and it makes it look more realistic, which is why her face looks so dewy. It's because that resin has a clear factor. The really important thing about this is that making something so thin inside of here is pretty dangerous because they could break really easily. And if these were to break, then you would have an issue in your hand, wouldn't you? And the cool thing is that they didn't just do the outside of the wing. No, they did the inside too. So I'm going to show you the inside right now. The inside is really, really special. There's patterning, there's even a little bit of shading on it. It's not like as insane as the outer side, but you know what? It doesn't matter. The fact that they did it means that they cared. Some people will just leave it blank, but they actually put a little bit of detail into it, so at least it looks nice from the back as well. So that's a really nice added bonus with this figure. Next thing I want to talk about is her cheekbones. Karis has these cool little scales on her cheek here, and it's kind of fun because the little scales actually kind of remind me of blush. It looks really, really cute to me. It also kind of reminds me of like laugh lines, but like the reptilian laugh lines. And of course, Karis doesn't really have a nose. She has like slits. I know that some people might be put off by Karis's hauntingly beautiful face, but you know what? She looks amazing to me. That nose actually really makes this figure because giving that uniqueness to her face really kind of brings out her eyes, because you don't focus on her nose, it's just her eyes you're focusing on that point. And that's what's really nice about this one. And again, the eyes are made of glass. The eyelashes are, well, they listed the eyelashes as real glass eyes and eyelashes. I don't know if they meant real glass eyes and eyelashes or real glass eyes and real eyelashes, because if that's real eyelashes, then okay. Also, Karis's mouth, her little lips here, they're really, really pretty. They used a lighter shade of pink for her lips, and I actually quite like the fact that it's a lighter pink and not like a really dark pink. You would assume that with most creatures like this, you'd probably use like a dark lip, and that's probably to do with like, you know, monster movies and stuff. People have darker looking mouths because that's what they want to look vicious, but Karis's lips are really light, and that gives it a light appearance that makes it more calming than scary, to me at least. Also, we want to talk about the fact that she has these little ears. These aren't her ears. She has little ears on the side here, which I'll show you. I don't know if it's the resin, but it's kind of sparkly, and that's really fun. I think you can kind of see the sparkling throughout her skin. I think that's what the translucent resin did. When you look down her neck, she has this amazing pattern of black line, pink line, a little bit of white, and it's really nice because that white on the front of her neck allows it to pop. Her front face is so light, and the back of her body and the sides are so dark that it just immediately draws your eyes to that face area. So the paint job on this is really quite impressive because there's all sorts of shades of pink, brown, gray, there's black on the side of her face, there's blacks in between her scales, and then we have this neck piece. The neck piece is amazing. This reminds me of Lord of the Rings, like Galadriel's crown. It's so intricate. So the necklace was imbued by Charis Melina Brown, who I believe is a healer. Hope I pronounced her name correctly. I am sorry if I did not. She imbued it with healing power, which I find really cool. If you're into that metaphysical thing, then knowing that your crystal here is imbued with love and energy is kind of a nice calming feeling. I myself like the metaphysical aspect, which is why we're Onyx beads, but it's pretty fun to know that someone gave their life energy basically to put into this, and I think that's a really cool touch about this figure. We can also talk about Karis's hair. So her hair, I can't stop touching it. It is so smooth. This must be a high quality Kenaclon wig, or maybe a really high quality mixture of human hair and synthetic, but it is really, really smooth and soft. The first thing I noticed when I touched it was how silky it was. It's really, really beautiful, and I don't know if I ever want to stylize it myself because I feel like I would wreck it and I can't really wash it after. So I'll just leave it as is and just hope for the best that it doesn't naturally tangle with the static. You probably want to see her back. Her back is really, really cool, guys. So let's turn her around. Karis's back is one of the most impressive things on this model. Damn! Look at that back! I want to talk about Karis's backside for a second here because it is incredible. So she has these protruding hooks or structures of her back that have these chains on them, and the chains also have little crystals on them as well. These are also magnetic, which is fun to know because when I was putting them on in the first place, I thought they were locking into place, but they were actually magnetic. So that's really cool. And they only fit in specific points, which is a really good thing about this model, so you don't ever get them mixed up. Now you'll notice down her back, there is a large array of very spiny structures, and of course, because she's reptilian, this is basically the reptile portion of her with all the scales and all the spikes. The scales and spikes have a really cool zigzag black pattern that's mixing with like a gray paint and a brown and pink paint. Oh my god, this back bottom part, the golden part, it is just as intricate as the front, and I'm honestly surprised they put so much effort into that back section of it. And if you look at the original concept art of Karis that came out, she was basically not as complex. I guess she was more simple, but I guess Mio might have added her own touch to it to give it a lot more flair, and I think this back part is probably that flair I'm talking about. You should also know that these back parts, they're quite light. I personally think it would be better if they were a bit more heavy, but that's just a personal preference. I don't think it actually bothers the model at all, really. The back parts being light means that the magnets probably work better too, so it's not really a big problem. The one cool thing about the spikes on the back is that there's actually miniature holes in some of the spikes, so they actually look more realistic because they look like they've been worn out or they've been around for years, which gives it a really nice authentic look. So I really appreciate that fact that it's not perfect. And it's the same when we're talking about Karis's face. My Karis's eyelashes are kind of, this one right here is a little bit whack, kind of fanning out to a little bit lower than I would like, so I might have to fix that. Oh, speaking of the eyes, I forgot to mention something really cool about the eyes. The eyes have this intensive like eyeshadow on it. It's like this really dark pink, and then there's gold. I didn't see this earlier, but there's gold underneath her eye, and that's really, really cool. It's so simple, but it really draws your eye in, and I can't believe I didn't notice it before until now. I think overall, this paint job is spectacular. I don't think I would change anything about the paint job. So for paint, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. As for the sculpt will also receive a 10 out of 10 because the sculpt job on this is too incredible. Like, they did such a good job on this. Because there's only 500, I'm going to assume that they did this all by hand. And doing these all by hand and casting them and getting them painted, like, that is a monumental task. $700 for a handmade product like this is not bad. Not really. I've seen worse. Like, there's Iron Mans out there that are like $10,000 for like a life-size Iron Man. I would rather have Karis any day of the week. Okay, so I want to end off the show with a special note. You may have noticed that the background has been changed in my room, and now that Cate Frenzy is on season 2, we have a brand new format. That brand new format is all thanks to Karis. When I bought her, I made the decision to change up my room, change up my life, and really just make a new home for her. Even just having her here in her presence, it makes me want to do better, if that makes any sense. She just has this kind of aura around her. So all of this change was all thanks to Karis, and I guess also in part thanks to Mio, because she's the one that brought her to life. So thank you to Mio, and thank you to Karis for bringing Cate Frenzy back, especially since Cate Frenzy's been dormant for so long. So this is kind of my kick in the butt to recontinue the show and hopefully bring you guys more reviews every week. And you know, sometimes collecting things could change your life. You never know. I want to thank everybody who watched this episode, and I want to show you Karis' new home. So I created this cabinet, and I threw on some wallpaper that represents Karis' skin. The outside is all about Karis. The inside is all about Mio's dreams. The marble inside represents Earth and space. The cherry blossoms represent life. The spider lilies represent death and rebirth. The wisteria represent Karis, sensuality, love, and confidence. The blue vase represents the water wall. The conch shell represents the creatures she saw in the water well. The humans holding the water represent the new relationship between the humans and aliens. This model is honestly one of the coolest things I own, and I love the fact that I can stare at it every day now. I'll be back next week with a new episode of Cate Frenzy. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again next week. Ciao!